The rain had been falling since morning. The streets of the city were almost empty, and everything seemed draped in a wet curtain of gloom. On a worn bench outside a quiet cafe sat a young man named Daniel Carter, drenched but unaware, lost in thoughts darker than the storm clouds overhead. Daniel was in his late 20s, a software engineer by profession, and the kind of person who always smiled, even when life was unkind. But that day, his shoulders slumped under the weight of something invisible. His eyes, once alive with dreams, now held the hollow exhaustion of someone too tired to keep pretending. He had just lost his job, but that wasn't the real blow. What truly shattered him was the voicemail he had received just the night before. His best friend, Adam, had taken his own life. They had grown up together, two kids chasing kites on rooftops, dreaming big dreams, supporting each other through every storm. And now, one was gone, leaving behind a silence that Daniel couldn't fill. He whispered, "Why, Adam? Why didn't you tell me?" The rain answered with its soft tap against his jacket. The world around him moved on, indifferent. Just then, an old man in a gray coat, his face kind but creased with age, sat beside Daniel without asking. He said nothing for a while. Then, in a voice rough yet gentle, he asked, "You've lost someone, haven't you?" Daniel nodded, still staring at the wet pavement. "My best friend gave up, and I wasn't there for him." The old man took a deep breath. "Let me tell you a story. Maybe it will help. It helped me once, when I was just as lost as you." There was once a young boy named Samar, who lived in a remote village nestled among the Himalayan foothills. He was the son of a poor shoemaker. They had no riches, no possessions, and sometimes barely enough food to eat. But Samar had something that most didn't. He had resilience. And he had his mother, the only family he had left. His father had died in a landslide when Samar was just 5. Since then, his mother worked endlessly, stitching torn clothes and helping neighbors for coins just so Samar could attend school. But one day, tragedy struck. A fever took his mother away too. At the age of 12, Samar became an orphan. He wandered the village alone, hungry, rejected, invisible. Some offered food out of pity, others just turned away. Days passed, weeks, until he found work at a nearby quarry, lifting stones twice his weight, breaking them under the sun, swallowing tears and dust alike. But one thing never left him, his dream. You see, Samar wanted to be a teacher. He wanted to educate children like himself, those forgotten by the world. Every night, with bleeding hands and a tired body, he would study under a flickering lantern he'd found in the garbage. People laughed. "You? A teacher? Look at your hands." He didn't answer. He just studied harder. Then came a storm, literally. A flood tore through his village. The quarry shut down. His shelter was washed away. Everything he had built, his tiny books, his makeshift lamp, was gone. He cried that night. For the first time in years, he sobbed until sleep took him. But the next morning, he woke up, stood up, and walked. He walked for 2 days to the nearest town, barefoot and blistered. He found a temple and offered to clean floors in exchange for food. The priest noticed his hunger, not for food, but for knowledge. And so the priest gave him books. And more than that, he gave him hope. Years passed. Samar finished school, then college. Then, against all odds, he became a professor of education. But he didn't stop there. He returned to his village, built a school with his own savings, and started teaching kids who were just like he once was, broken, forgotten, poor. He became a beacon of hope. They called him Sir Samar, a name that carried weight, not because of power or wealth, but because of courage. One day, someone asked him, "Didn't you ever feel like giving up?" Samar smiled and said, "Every day, but giving up never gave me anything. Walking forward gave me everything." The old man paused. Daniel hadn't said a word, but his eyes now held something new. Not joy, not clarity, but a quiet stillness. He asked, "Was it a true story?" The old man nodded. "Yes, because that boy, Samar, is me." Daniel turned slowly to look at him, stunned. The old man continued, "When I lost everything, I didn't think life owed me anything. But I owed life one thing, to keep walking. And now, I sit here sometimes waiting, because I know someone like you will come and need the story that once saved me." Daniel's lips parted, but words didn't come. The old man stood and smiled. Your friend may be gone, son, and that pain won't vanish, but you're still here. You still have something he didn't get the chance to see. The next chapter. With that, the old man walked into the rain, disappearing like a memory. Dear you, if you're reading this, it means life has brought you pain too. Maybe someone you love is gone. Maybe your dreams feel like distant stars, always shining, but always out of reach. Maybe your mind keeps whispering lies. You're not enough. It won't get better. You're alone. But listen to me. You are not alone. Not now. Not ever. Pain is real, but so is healing. Darkness is real, but so is light. You can't control every chapter of your life, but you hold the pen for what comes next. Let Samar's story be proof that even the most broken pieces can build a masterpiece. Let Daniel's moment on the bench remind you that even in the rain, strangers can bring warmth. And let your own story be one of quiet courage, the kind that doesn't scream, but stands up anyway. You have survived 100% of your hardest days. Don't stop now. You are stronger than you feel. You are more loved than you know. And the world still needs your light. So, if you're feeling sad, don't end the story. Just turn the page.